The work that we do really is about supporting school-based planning teams, classroom learning center and resource teachers to ensure a proper implementation of the program planning process. We are basically dispatched to go into schools to learn about whatever challenge that a child is presenting in their school. And by challenge, it may be an academic challenge. It could be that the child needs to be challenged academically because they've been identified as gifted. They may need individualized programming or adaptations, maybe social challenges or behavior, or any combination of those.
What's interesting about the role of the program planning specialist is that everybody's coming with a variety of backgrounds. Special education, classroom experience. We have people who are trained with literacy and mathematics and an administration background. So we really see the importance of collaboration. Looking at the student as a whole, looking at how we can bring all parties together to come up with the best form of programming possible.
In addition to that, we provide leadership to new learning center and resource teachers via professional development.
We have an electronic documentation system called TINET, where we house all cumulative and confidential information. Sometimes that can be daunting for teachers when they have a new job and they're not sure what to do and they're left to figure it out. What's important for them to know is that we are here to support. So there's never a time where a teacher is left to figure it out on their own. You know, we might not work with students directly, but we work with the teachers that teach the students every day. And we're giving them the skills, the resources, and the knowledge that they need to do the best possible job they can and ensure that the programming is the best it is for that student to be successful.
The first step is to meet with the team to determine what is the student's profile. And the beginning piece of that is what is the child's particular and individual strengths, challenges, and interests. That's what really guides where we start in terms of building a program or a plan.
One of the most important parts of this job is really getting school teams to see how important it is to look at the individual strengths, challenges, and interests of their students, of every student. It is in essence the foundation of programming. When we're specific with them, when we contextualize them, when we're detailed with them, we know exactly what the student is good in and what their strength is, but then we also know what those challenges are and where we need to go with programming. No one is writing that in isolation. We say to people it's important to bring all parties together who know that student best. You know, the experts, our teachers who are experts in curriculum, our resource and learning center teachers who are experts in diverse learning, our specialists, our administrators who come to the table, our parents who know their child better than anyone knows their child.
So from there, we help with the development and implementation of the plan, and really it's about the team implementing it and us supporting them through the tracking of data so that when we follow up, we can look at what has worked, what hasn't worked, and what do we have to maybe tweak moving forward, again, so that we're giving that student all the tools they need to be successful.
One of the biggest things that I've noticed in an increase in allocation and going from 4 program planning specialists to 8 is that we can spend more time, more individualized time at a school site. So for instance, at the end of last year, I spent 3 weeks with a school. Every day we sat with a different teacher in the building and gave them individualized professional development. And we looked at every single one of their students, all of their IPPs, all of their adaptations. We sat down and we went through all of their strengths, challenges, and interest, looked at all the documentation in TINET. At the end of the time with those teachers, they really felt like they knew their student better. They knew exactly what they needed to support them. That's the most rewarding part for me, is that we've looked at a student's programming and the teacher then is excited to go back and do something differently, or they're excited to go back and apply the strategies they've learned.
You know, I think that at the end of the day, it's the single biggest determining factor of whether or not a child is going to be their best self, of whether or not they're going to get the most out of their schooling, and of whether or not they're going to be able to transition successfully eventually from school into community to become a contributing member of society.
When a teacher feels like they need that additional support, or how to best program for that student, they first reach out to their administrator, and then their administrator would reach out to the student services facilitator, who then would direct us to go into the school and support appropriately.
And when you see a child be given what they need, and all of a sudden they're motivated, they're engaged, it clicks, and you're working through that whole process with the family. It's really incredible to see that happen.